Good morning. Good morning. It is Ty, Coach Ty, the LinkedIn guy. And how are you? It's a wet, nasty morning here in Tokyo. You know, if you've ever lived in Asia, luckily it's North Asia and we don't have as bad as some of the weather extremes in other parts of Asia. But man, you know, we have wet season a couple of times a year. And, it's hot and wet. That's never fun. It's never fun. And I don't like it. And today I've got a great session. I'm going to just share this into some of my other groups. So if you're not in my group, if you're not in the Facebook group, if you're watching this on my page, come over to my group. Come over to my group, guys. That's where you can talk to me. That's where you can put questions there. You can abuse me. No one abuse me, please. I'm a high I, 99 I. I need people to like me. Basically you can also I'm just showing to my group. You can also participate and you can tell me what you think. So today I've got a really good one. I was thinking about this last night. I was thinking back to a number of meetings that I've had and a number of ways I got those meetings with prospective clients. And in my life, over the last 20 odd years of being in business, the principles of influence really have held they're just truths about us as humans. And if you haven't read any of Cialdini's books, Influence, or his latest one, Pre-suasion, which were like 25 years apart, then you've got to. There's just no way around it, because you will hear it constantly. You will hear it constantly in people talking about it and marketers talking about it. And in particular, his latest book that came out last year, or maybe the year before, no, last year, he brought in the seventh principle. And still people talk about six principles, but he brought in the seventh principle, if you didn't know, which is unity. And he spoke about that. So today I want to talk about the 7 key principles of influence, but in relation to your LinkedIn and your LinkedIn sales funnel and the way that you move people through your funnel. Cool frame on the head, John. You like my frame? Yeah, there you go, mate. I think I had some guy in Romania make it for me. Anyway, so if you didn't know what the principles are, I'm just going to tell you the principles now, and then we're going to get into it in relation to your LinkedIn. So it's reciprocity, it's social proof, it's liking, it's authority, it's a scarcity, and it's commitment. And then the last one is unity. That's the one that Cialdini talks about. And there's a few myths, or not myths, a few misconceptions around some of them, especially about liking and what that means as a key principle of influence. Because a lot of people would think, well, they have to like me. I've got to be likable. I've got to be likable for you, to make. I've got to be likable to make people take action, and that's not the case. That's not what Cialdini is actually talking about, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. What it really comes down to is the application of these principles in your marketing or in your business development. Now, I'm not a marketer. I've never been a marketer. I don't profess to be a marketer per se. I've owned marketing consulting firms where I was the BD guy, and I was getting the business, and I hired, well, my partner. My partner was the brains behind the marketing side of things. That's when you can find partners that have special skills in those areas. Defer to them. But I absolutely applied these 7 key principles to my businesses forever. So the way that it's done, I want to talk about these key principles and how they relate to LinkedIn. Now, let's start with reciprocity. Now, everyone knows reciprocity in the sense of when someone does something for us, we have that social obligation to do something back. You know, in your office, if you're an employee and one of your mates comes up and gives you a coffee that morning, well, more than likely you're going to buy them a coffee the next day, that afternoon, whatever. I mean, that's the simplistic term. So reciprocity is that social obligation we have for people. Now, what I see on LinkedIn, which you've got to avoid this, please avoid this, and I call it forced reciprocity. And it's you are putting someone in a situation where you're putting them deliberately using reciprocity deliberately to get action and to make them uncomfortable. No one likes to be forced. No one likes to be forced. And the reason it's forced reciprocity is because you've never built the rapport with that person. So, and in that sense, like imagine this, it's, you walk up to someone in your office you've never spoken before, never had any interest in, and then you give them a gold necklace and some coffee. Like, they'd be like, what the hell? How do I do this? Like, wow, it's just so awkward and so wrong. And then you're thinking like, oh, shit, now I've got to buy this person something. How do I do this? And it's the same on LinkedIn when you do value vomits. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the value vomit, which if you've been following me, you know what I'm talking about. It's giving value when you have no idea what their pain is, what their problem is, and what they really need. You're giving them all this stuff. And people use this on LinkedIn all the time. This is why I call it forced reciprocity as well as calling it a value vomit, is that people go into your inbox and they give you all this rubbish to say, oh, hi, my name's Ty. I'm a LinkedIn coach. I help businesses and business owners go from feast and famine into a consistent, predictable, sustainable, non-stop lead flow. Here's a PDF on the top 10 things that you should avoid on LinkedIn. Here's a video about how I became a multimillionaire and how you can do it too. And by the way, here's a 15-minute a booking link. Book me. Let's get on a call today and have a chat. Man, that's a value vomit. I have no idea if that person is interested, if that person has any of those issues, any of those problems. I have no rapport with them. And then I'm dumping into them. And worse, if you ask a question. Now, if you ask a question of them, and this is where, again, I find some of the people who are coaching on LinkedIn get it wrong, is that they ask these questions that are too complex. And it forces a person to either have to ignore them, or they've got two choices. They give a short answer, which makes them look kind of foolish and uneducated, or not knowing their industry, or they have to do a long ass answer and explanation. Now, what do you reckon people are going to choose most of the time? Ignoring you. And that's why your messages are ignored and your reciprocity is forced, and it's not working. It's not working on LinkedIn. Giving all those value vomits, it ain't working. Get it through your head. Stop it. Stop it today. Giving value is not what you are thinking it is, because marketers are telling you the wrong way. It's get rapport, get understanding, know your audience, know their pain, and then offer the value when they ask for it. That's what works on LinkedIn. Over and over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. So guys, reciprocity, don't force it. Only go for it when it really is a case of you have that rapport and you know what they want. And then you can give that value. The other great one is social proof. Social proof, it's great on LinkedIn because there's a nice little recommendation bar at the bottom. Now, before the LinkedIn used to put recommendations under each experience section, which I liked. I liked a lot. I liked the fact that you could have that experience section. And thanks, Omar. I'm glad. Great. was waiting for. Advice on how to rapport when a new connection. Boom, boom, boom. I'll talk about that. So yeah, social proof is certainly going to be easy for you to get on LinkedIn or to display on LinkedIn because A, it's built into the system, and B, you can write into your profile anywhere you want that kind of testimonial and social proof, third-party proof. Now, guys, I am seeing this over and over again. There is a service out there. I think it's $1,300, and then it goes up to $1,700. And you will notice it on LinkedIn, and you'll notice on Facebook. People will have their photo, and it'll say "as seen on," and it'll have the 3 logos of 3 of the main media. And then you'll see some that will have 5 logos. They bought the upsell. It's not hard to Google that person's name and that media and see exactly what it is. It's a service. They write basically a press release, and they mention that person's company. It's crap. It's really crap. And I see it over and over again. You see the round, you see it all the time. The round photo, it's as seen on, and the logos go down there. Hello. It may fool people who are just new and fresh, but it's no social proof to me. When I see that, I know instantly you've paid for that. Like, I don't mind paying for publicity in the sense of you have a publicist, they go out and get you into these places, but those publications, they still decide whether or not to publish you. They still decide that it has to be newsworthy for their audience. But to get like a press release out there, that's just lame. And it's so easy to see when someone Googles that, and it's like the same thing, same press release, no value there, nothing. That's another use of social proof, but doing it poorly. And I see that so often. So stop doing that, guys. Stop doing that. Use the social proof in there. I know it can be hard to get recommendations from people because people, once you've delivered your service, once you've delivered your value, people just, the value of your service. Remember this, guys. The value of your service rapidly diminishes once you have delivered it. Okay? Remember this. The value of your service rapidly diminishes right after you've delivered it. Okay? So after you've delivered it, and people forget how great that experience was. People forget that, you did this for them. They just do. And then they're like, doing a recommendations like, yeah, I'll get to that. La. And they don't. And that happens often. It happens to me, and I get it because I do the same. So putting in a plan to get social proof is great. And on LinkedIn is even better because it's when people search your name on Google, as you noticed, you will come up first. If you're using LinkedIn properly and you've optimized for what you do, you will come up number 1 ranking in Google, and it goes to your LinkedIn, and people will see that. People will see that social proof. And today's generation that they're coming through, it really is that social proof. That's a kicker. Like understanding what third parties are saying about someone, it's really important. It's really important. And when I started in business, there wasn't anything like that. So you just didn't know. You had to really use your social network, and you would ask people about how you went on that trip, you went with that company, or you went to that restaurant, and you would ask them. You couldn't find it online. There was no online. So things have changed. On LinkedIn, use the social proof there being the recommendations and being the ability to bring your testimonials, bring your third-party referrals or testimonials into your profile. You can do it wherever you want. Do not, and if you've watched my masterclass, you will know, do not follow the rules of LinkedIn. They are made up by who, and who's enforcing them? No one. So use your social proof into your profile where you want, how you want. Don't be spammy and salesy about it, but make sure you use it. If you are lacking third-party testimonial, third-party, like this guy's cool, it's tough. It's not impossible. It's just tougher. The more you have, the better it is. It's, just like ice cream. The more you have, the better it is. The third principle, liking. Likability, liking. So many people get this wrong. Liking, as Dr. Cialdini talks about, it's not that you have to be likable. I'm a likable guy. Not really. Well, yes, I am to some people. But it is liking. The principle of liking means the other person has to feel you like them. Yeah. That is the principle that Cialdini talks about. He's not talking about you being this likable, nice character that everyone likes and you've got to always be likable and affable and all that. No, some people are naturally like that. I've met a few really, really likable people as well. But that's not necessary to make success and to influence. It's them feeling you like them. You care for them. You're interested in them. You have genuine interest in them. That's the power of influence. And just think in your own lives, who do you like the most? Well, it's the people that like you the most. Yeah. And that is really, really powerful. Showing that interest and showing that you like the other person in a genuine manner, that is then going to get you that little bit of influence, that little bit of persuasion over them and influence over them to push them over the edge. And it really kind of, it ties into something I spoke about last week about Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference, which is an awesome book. If you haven't read it, read it. He's great. When he talks about disarming people that you know are going to be kind of difficult, like someone in a difficult situation, and he gives the example as the baggage clerk at a or the lost and found baggage at an airport. He looks at the person and he knows they're just like, like this, they're really angry. They're having a crappy day, and you've got to go up and say, hey, I've lost my bags. Where's my bags? It was my fault. The transfer didn't happen, blah, blah, blah. Going up to them and just saying, hey, listen, I'm going to give you something that's so hard to find, so hard, such a challenge. I'm going to be that annoying customer, and it puts them off guard. And there's some likability factor there because you're kind of challenging them a little bit as well. I kind of like that. Just a side note. But anyway, going back to likability, remember that, guys, it's you showing them that you like them. They've got to feel that. And when they feel that, that's when the doors open. You don't be a suck. You don't be fake, because they'll sense that. But genuine interest, genuine liking someone and showing them. And I have even said, yes, I mean, this sounds weird, but I've even said in a meeting, in a sales call, in a sales meeting, like, man, I like you. And it's come from a point of like, I've brought it up and I've said it when I truly felt it, and they felt it. They felt the energy. They felt me saying it, and they will say, oh, me too. And it's just like that feeling. And they know in their heart, man, this guy freaking cares. This cat likes me. He really does. That is likability. Okay. Don't think that you have to be this nice guy. I like you too, Joe. The fourth one, authority. Authority. Now, how can you use this on LinkedIn? Well, the authority is going to come when you frame your profile in a way that I call the doctor frame. And what I mean by that is the doctor, when you are walking down a street, the doctor, she's not outside her surgery with flyers saying, when you're sick, come in here. When you're sick, come in here. Right? She's not doing that. They've got a nice little plaque on the wall. Maybe it's nondescript, Dr. Jones, blah, 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 orthopedic surgeon. You look at that sign and you instantly know, when I'm sick, when I'm sore, that's who I go and see. That is how your profile should look. It should hold authority. It should not be salesy. It should not be spammy. It should be promotional, but it has to hold the doctor frame. And it should be talking to your ideal client avatar. So when they land on your profile, it talks to them. It talks to their pain points. It shows that you have empathy for them. It shows that you have a solution. And it shows that what other people are saying about that solution. That's the social proof element. That will give you authority all the time. You don't need to have a banner on your thing saying sale 10% off or we are the best. We do, no, you don't need any of that. Doctors don't do that. And that's the frame of mind you've got to go into. You have to have the doctor frame, right? That will give you the authority. When you can show insights that you understand their pain point and you can articulate it more than they can, man, you're in. Always remember that. When you can articulate someone else's pain more concisely, precisely than they can, you instantly become the authority in their mind. And if it's in a sales call, it's going to come through your questioning. If it's on a if it's on a LinkedIn profile, it's going to come from the way that you structure your profile, i.e., not an online CV, right? Not an online CV. You're giving it all away today, man. These are general principles of influence, Joe. They're in a book. You can get them in a book. So make sure that you structure it in a way that is talking to their pain points. Okay, talking to their pain points, and so that they feel that authority. The other one I want to talk about is scarcity. Scarcity. Now, scarcity is generally used by sales guys, and it's used a lot with when they're out of integrity. I find when people say, well, it's this price only for today, or this is the you've got 24 hours before this happens, or we've only got 3 positions left, whatever it is. Like, scarcity is great when it is real and when you hold to your integrity on it. If you make an offer to someone, and then you always have the right to change your mind and to make exceptions to rules that you make, for sure. But then when you make that, you must live up to that. You must live up to that. When I've fallen out of integrity with my offers or with my invites or with anything like that, it's always come back to bite me on the butt. And also I just feel like, oh man, I didn't live up to, myself. I didn't live up to my rules. Now on sales calls, you can use scarcity for absolutely. Like, you can have limited time offers. And I do it quite often, that, I want to work with the most committed and the most decisive people. And it was interesting. I had a guy, I listened to one of my sales guys, enrollment coaches calls the other day, and the person said to him, well, that's a large investment. Would you do that? I wouldn't do that. Would you do that? My guy was a bit slow to kind of respond, only because he knows that, yeah, everyone in my coaching has come on taking the fast action investment price. Everyone. So yes, I would. They do. If people want to offer any type of sales tiered system, live up to it. If someone misses your deadline, live up to it. If you are offering it once, live up to it. Don't offer it again. Yeah, you can maybe recycle it, add something extra, make something new, and make a similar offer, but don't offer the same stuff. So scarcity can be really, really powerful when done well and done with integrity. If there are certain exceptions and there's conditions that people are in, sure, you have the right, it's your business to change that. But whatever change that you make, again, live up to and keep in integrity with your offer. It is absolutely important. And and this is why, like, scarcity, like webinars and stuff, I don't have on my webinar, I have an evergreen webinar. I don't have on it anywhere saying it's live. I don't have any on it saying, like, if you don't watch this, you're never going to see the gain. None of that. Some people write, oh, you're being decided. It's not live. Like, I never said it was live. I never implied it was live. Nothing of the sort. And yes, it's limited in the sense that only a certain amount of people can be on it at once. That's a fact. But make sure that you have integrity throughout all your materials, all your marketing, all your collateral. When you make your sales offers or you make your offers to get hired, make sure that you live up to your offer. Do not bend it. Like, if you haven't made an exception and said, okay, for this case, because you've asked and blah, 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 we can extend this. Okay. But if you say it and you write it and then they don't do it, stay in integrity. Yeah, it's so important. So scarcity, guys, limited offers, limited time, that's all great, but stay in integrity with it. And I know it can be hard because you're like, oh, well, that person's coming back. They came back a week after the deadline. Oh, I should look. No, sorry, they paid the full price because the other people that committed to you, the other clients and consumers and customers, they stepped up. They were the most committed. They were the most decisive, and they get rewarded for it. And that's how it should be. Two more principles, commitment and unity. I want to talk about commitment. Commitment. People like to say, well, it's committed and consistent. That's how he refers to them. People like to be consistent in their actions. Simple as that. People say they are this, they like to do that. They like to stay consistent with their commitments, with the way that they present themselves. And this is really important for you on LinkedIn, guys. This is really, really important. You have to show you are committed to the platform as well. And where that can be shown, you have a complete profile and one that you have actually put time into. And it goes hand in hand with the authority, with the doctor frame that I talk about. If you are showing you're not committed, if you have a profile that is incomplete, and the human brain loves completeness. And a classic example, start a task and stop it halfway. And you know that how to finish it very, very easily, but stop it halfway. See how much your mind goes back to that task and wants to complete it. It just does. It will do it over and over and over again. Same with LinkedIn. Now, you've got to remember, if you're on LinkedIn and you are using it to source your ideal client avatars and they're on there and they're active, because, again, we only go after active players on LinkedIn because that gets us closest to a revenue event. If they are an active player, that means that they see profiles, hundreds of profiles a week. And where you can show that you are committed to the platform, that you are consistent in, that you are the professional in your space, then having a complete profile, showing your commitment to LinkedIn, showing your commitment to the platform, to your business, having that full detail, not having a CV. By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, having a CV, if you have an online CV as your LinkedIn profile and you are using LinkedIn for business development, you're bringing the wrong weapon to the fight, because a CV is used for getting a job. Are you trying to get a job? No, you're trying to get a client. So make sure, you're bringing a freaking, as Sean Connery said, you're bringing a knife to a gunfight. That's what you're doing. So commitment and consistency. Be on the platform. Use the platform. Participate in the platform. Engage with others. That is going to show that you know what you're doing, that you're an authority, that you've got the time to do that because you've allocated it properly into your day. People will be wondering, how the heck does this guy do everything? How does he get everything done in a day? Holy moly. It's because it's planned. It's consistent. You're showing commitment to your trade and you're mastering your techniques and you're mastering those core skills. And in sales calls as well, or discovery calls or breakthrough calls, the obvious one is getting consistency, is by getting the other person to show that they are committed to achieving something, that for them to break consistency, it's very hard, and break the commitment. And you can call them out on it. If they're saying, yeah, I'm committed to solving this, I want to do this right now. And then they're like, oh, let me think about it. It's like, man, isn't this exactly why you're on the call? Isn't that problem that you're having of delaying, that disease of delay, this is causing you to only make $2,000 a month, and you call yourself an entrepreneur with that? Sometimes you've got to get harsh on them. Yes, Joey, stuff is awesome. And yeah, pre-suasion is great. And that's the last one I'm going to talk about, which is in his last book, which is unity. Now, unity is a really important principle. And Cialdini just talked about it after years of looking at it and researching it, but we've all known this. Now, unity, you've got to be careful. Some people can interpret it, especially if it's on LinkedIn, if it's outside of your market, someone's trying to come into your market and be like you or get you for sales, this is where unity is really important. For example, people out of South Asia, out of India, out of Pakistan, out of Bangladesh, a lot of them offer IT services, right? They'll offer SEO services, they'll offer design stuff, marketing stuff, website creation, some of the tech stuff. And they try to sell this into the US markets or the Western markets. The problem is what they aren't realizing, it's not because they're racist or whatever, and the reason I get these requests all the time, like no one wants to speak to me, no one's answering me. It's because they lack the unity with that person they're going after. We all want to feel a part of a group. We all want to feel it's us and it's them. It's just true. You can pretend you don't, but when you find someone that has some kind of connection with you, and you're in a group of people and there's you two that are like, you've got some special connection, you gravitate towards each other and you kind of like, yeah, it's us and them. And that's the same on LinkedIn. When you've got someone who is out of South Asia going into the Western market and saying, hey, use me, and they're using the incorrect kind of language. And I don't mean using, they're using a foreign language to English, but the way that they're structuring their language. Like, you see this a lot. A lot of those cultures, they'll come back and they'll say, I'm introducing to your prestigious company, and I would be honored to, like, no, we don't talk like that in the West. We don't. We just don't. So be careful of your language, because that is an instant giveaway that there is no unity there. And people are going to be looking for unity. Unity is strong, and you can use it to your advantage. And that part, and it traces all the way back to the guy at the start who was Omar Otham, that talked about rapport. That's where you can get that unity established, right? And you can find that. It could be career, it could be past experience, it could be schools, it could be vacations, it could be locations that you've gone to. There's so many ways where you can find that bond with them and show that there's unity in that. Show that there's unity in that. And one of my newest clients has just come on last night, today. I'm in Tokyo. I've been here for 20 years. The guy actually lives right next to where I used to live for like 18, 19 years of my life growing up. And it may not sound such, but man, when someone lives in a small town in a suburb of outer Melbourne, I don't come across too many of them. So instantly there's that, it's us. Hey, we're kind of the same. Where, I know where he lives. I know the surroundings. I know, there's that feeling, and it affects me as well. I'll make exceptions to rules because of that unity. And when you get it right, it's really, really powerful. When you and people that are in my masterclass coaching group, the private group, they feel it as well. We're a part of this exclusive group of people who are mastering, and we have the best looking profiles. We have the best looking messages. We have the best connection strategies. We're just the best at using LinkedIn. It's as simple as that. And they know it because I see it in the group. They talk about they're going out and looking at people all day. And now they're saying like, oh God, look at, even other LinkedIn stuff. They come across other LinkedIn coaches and service providers, and they're like, how are they a service provider when they look so bad on LinkedIn themselves? And that's that unity. You can build. Those tribes are really important, being a part of a tribe, and you can create them. You can create them out of thin air when you can find that connection. So unity is very, very strong. It's a very powerful principle of influence, and you can use it especially in the rapport building phase of any relationship. And you can do it on LinkedIn very, very quickly, because the beauty of people who don't know how to use LinkedIn for business development and are using it as a CV depository, the reason it's so great is because people put all their information up there. And this goes back to, and Marius, I'm going to bring it for you. You've got to think of this. LinkedIn, the way that people stuff up on LinkedIn when they're trying to build rapport with people is that they are ignoring the pink top hat and the pink suit. And what do I mean by that? I told you how to get it in there, Marius. Imagine this. You're going to a networking event. It's a marketing event. You're in marketing. It's a marketing event. You walk into the networking room. There's 100 people in the networking room. They're all in, if you're in Japan, you'll see they're all in black suits or dark blue suits, white shirts, black ties. You'd laugh, but that's what it's like. But then in the room, there's someone in a pink neon suit with a pink neon top hat. And you're in this room full of marketers. And there's this one dude, and he's in this pink neon suit, pink neon top hat. And you walk up to him. What's the first thing you would say to that guy? Anyone. You can write what you'd say. Anyone type. What would you say to a guy? Pink neon hat, pink neon suit. You're in a room full of people in dark suits. They're in a marketing event. They're all sitting there. What would you say to that guy? Anyone. There's 5 of you watching. No one wants to type. Well, the correct answer, what I would say is, man, where the hell did you get this? Why are you wearing that? That is so cool. I would be talking about the hat. Hey, buddy, what's your name? Right? And what Marius just said, that is what 99% of people do on LinkedIn. Is that they don't talk about the pink hat, the pink suit. They go in with some lame message and they are avoiding the pink suit, the pink hat. And what is the pink? And what's the analogy here? Where's the thing? Look at their damn profiles. The profile is full of pink suits and pink hats. It is full of it. There are so many nuggets of information in that profile that you can use. And when you formulate it properly, and this is where people go off the trails as well. They ask questions that are forced reciprocity, which I talked about. They ask questions that people aren't going to answer. They go too quick into the type of questioning. When you get it right, it works marvelously. There are so many pink top hats and so many pink suits on their profile. There is no reason you cannot establish rapport with someone and you can get into a genuine conversation with someone when you use the information that you have in a natural way. And for some reason, when people get onto LinkedIn, they throw out all their common sense and natural communication skills. And I teach this to my students over and over and over again. And it's always a sticking point. And the basic of it is emulate real life. And what I mean by that, really deconstruct a meeting of a person for the first time. That is the clue, guys. Deconstruct when you meet someone for the first time. Absolutely examine the process that you go through. Really, really, really think about it. I'm not going to lay it out for you, but that's a massive clue to success. My coaching guys, they get the real deal. They find all the detail. So there you are. I'm done. They are the 7 key principles of influence and how you can use them on LinkedIn or how you shouldn't use them on LinkedIn. You can start using them today. You can stop doing the stuff that you shouldn't be doing today. And I hope that gives you some insights. If you think, wow, that's great. Now, that's some good stuff. But what exactly should I do, Tyron? Reach out to my team. You can message me and say, hey, Ty, I need some help here. Reach out to my team. Either I or my team members will get on a call with you. We will find out what is working with your LinkedIn sales funnel, what is not working with your LinkedIn sales funnel, where you want to go with it. If it's something that I can fix, they'll tell you, I'll tell you. And I'll show you, and they'll show you how we're going to fix it. If we can't fix you, then we'll tell you that as well, and we'll send you away to some other resource that is going to help you get that solution. So that's the way that we work. When we don't hard sell, we don't hard, that's not what we're about. We have solution. If you're a fit, we'll tell you. If you aren't, we'll tell you. It's as simple as that. And then you have a choice. You either stay where you are or you step up. That's it. I'm going to be fine either way. I know it's going to transform your life. It's not going to transform my life. So guys, if you haven't seen my 45-minute presentation webinar, watch that. That will give you some greater insights into the major shifts that you have to make on your approach to LinkedIn for you to be successful. If you are not doing that, you're just not going to be successful. I haven't seen anyone who hasn't gone through that has been successful on LinkedIn. So watch that. At the end of it, there's no sale, there's no product to buy. No one can buy my coaching. You cannot buy my coaching with the press of a button. It's as simple as that. You've got to go through. You have to be invited in. You have to be a match for me. You have to be a match for the business expectations that I have of the people that I coach. And then, then wonderful things happen. So that's it for me, guys. Have a great day. I've got lots to do. I've also got a graduate Q&A call. That's another thing. Just because when people finish my program, it's not sayonara, throwing some Japanese. Every month, we're on with the Q&A live with them just to make sure everyone is still consistent. Everyone is still performing at the best. And just to, tweak that mindset, get them back on track. So that's for me later on in about 45 minutes. I'm going to have a coffee. All right, guys. Thanks, Joe. Fantastic content. Yeah, I appreciate that, mate. So I'm out of here. Have a great day, guys. See you later.